Hey, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Let's learn with Lizzie, your go-to place where English is made simple and easy. Today we are going to study the chapter The Proposal, a one-act play written by the famous Russian dramatist Anton Chekhov. This chapter is extremely important for class 10 board exams because questions are frequently asked from the plot, characters, themes, humor, and title significance. Although the play appears humorous, it strongly criticizes human nature, especially greed, ego, and materialism. Anton Chekhov was a Russian writer and playwright known for portraying real human behavior with subtle humor and irony. Unlike dramatic heroes and villains, Chekhov's characters are ordinary people with flaws. Through comedy, he exposes serious issues such as selfishness, hypocrisy, and social pretense. In the proposal, Chekhov uses humor to show how marriage becomes a business deal rather than an emotional bond. To understand this play properly, we must first understand the background of Russian weddings in the 19th century. During this period, marriages among wealthy families were not based on love. Instead, they were based on practical arrangements made to increase land, wealth, and social status. Emotional compatibility was only secondary. Parents played a major role in selecting marriage partners, and discussions often involved property, inheritance, and financial security. This background explains why Lomov approaches marriage in a formal and calculated manner, and why Chubukov is excited not because of love but because of economic advantage. The Russian wedding background is directly reflected in the play. Lomov does not speak about love even once. Instead, he talks about health, age, and stability. On the other hand, Chubuko immediately accepts the proposal because it benefits him financially. Natalia panics when she learns about the proposal because marriage is essential for her social security. Thus, the play clearly presents marriage as a social contract, not a romantic relationship. The Proposal is a one act farcical comedy written between 1888 and 1889. The play revolves around a marriage proposal that is almost forgotten because of petty quarrels. Chekhov shows how ego and greed overpower logic, love, and common sense. The play ends in marriage, but the argument never truly stops. The entire play is set in the drawing room of Chibuko's house in rural Russia. The limited setting increases the intensity of the argument and highlights how trivial issues grow into major conflicts when people are narrow minded and short tempered, just like the setting. There are only three major characters in the play, but each one is loud, argumentative, and self centered. Their exaggerated behavior adds to the comedy while revealing serious human flaw. First, we are having Stefan Stefanovich Chubukov. Chubukov is a loud, cunning, and opportunistic landowner. He quickly changes his attitude based on personal benefit. He abuses Lomov during the argument but instantly supports the marriage when he realizes its advantage. He symbolizes hypocrisy and selfish social behavior. Then we are having Natalia Stefanova. Natalia is Chubuko's 25-year-old daughter. She is strong willed, aggressive, and argumentative again, just like her father. Even though she initially fights fiercely over land and dogs, she becomes desperate when she realizes Lamov came to propose. This shows her fear of remaining unmarried, reflecting the social pressure on women at that time. And finally, we are having Lamov, who is a wealthy landowner and Chibuko's neighbor. He's extremely nervous and health obsessed person. He believes marriage is necessary for a regular and disciplined life, not for love. His constant complaints about palpitations, trembling, and sleeplessness make him a comic figure. He represents people who overthink and collapse under pressure. Lamov's visit. The proposal begins. Lamov visits Chubukov dressed formally, which immediately creates suspicion. Chubukov initially believes Lamov has come to borrow money. When Lamov finally reveals his intention to marry Natalia, Chubukov becomes overjoyed, not emotionally, but economically. Lamov's view on marriage. Lamov explains marriage in purely practical terms. He believes he must marry because he is 35 years old, needs peace, and suffers from health problems. There is no mention of love in this point, clearly showing the materialistic approach towards the marriage. The first conflict arrives between Lemov and Natalia because of the oxen meadows. The proposal is interrupted by an argument over oxen meadows, a piece of land. Natalia claims it belongs to her family, while Lemov insists it is his. The discussion turns into shouting, insults, and legal threats. This shows how property matters more than relationship. Chubukov enters into the play and supports Natalia blindly and insults Lemov. Logical discussion disappears completely over here. The argument becomes a battle of ego and pride, forcing Lemov to leave the house angrily. The turning point of the story occurs when Natalia learns that Lemo had come to propose. She immediately becomes hysterical and insists that he be brought back. This sudden change highlights her desperation for marriage. After Lemo returns, a new argument starts, this time over the hunting dogs, Guess and Squeezer. Once again, a trivial matter becomes a fierce quarrel, proving that the characters are incapable of peaceful conversations. The argument becomes so intense that Lomov collapses, appearing dead. Panic spreads as Natalia and Chubukov fear losing the marriage alliance. This exaggerated reaction adds to the farcical humor of the play. When Lemov regains consciousness, Chubukov immediately declares them engaged. The proposal finally succeeds not because of understanding, but because of fear of loss and social pressure. Ironically, even after the engagement, Natalia and Lemur resume the argument about the dogs. This shows that nothing has truly changed, making the ending humorous yet critical. The title, The Proposal, is ironic because the proposal itself is nearly forgotten due to constant arguments between the characters. The title highlights how trivial issues overpower important life decisions when material blinds us all. Moving on to the comic elements of the play is a farce because of exaggerated characters, repeated arguments, fainting, hysterics, and absurd situations. These elements create humor while delivering a strong social message. Now let's focus on the character sketches of the characters. First comes Lamo, who is a nervous and oversensitive guy, obsessed with health, practical and calculative, and easily provoked. Then we are having Natalia, who is a strong willed and aggressive girl who is always argumentative and materialistic, and she is quite desperate to get married because of social pressure. And finally, Mr. Chibuko, who is greedy and opportunistic. He is loud and dominating. He changes his attitude instantly according to his likes. He represents selfish society and hypocrisy. The play teaches us that when people prioritize property and ego over relationships, peace is destroyed. Chekhov uses comedy to warn us against selfishness and uncontrolled temper. For board exams, students should prepare character sketches, themes, significance of the title, and use of humor. Always support your answers with examples from the play and use some quotations from the play. And finally, coming to the conclusion, The Proposal is a humorous yet meaningful play that reflects real human behavior. Though written long ago, its message remains relevant even today. Don't you think so? So that's it for today. If you like this video, kindly hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And see you all in the next video. Thank you.